Hello and welcome back to another edition of the MCR. My name is Mac. With me this morning is TJ, and we're going to talk about Michigan's red flag law and the reaction of the Livingston County commissioners and the Livingston County sheriff. The sheriff says this is a constitutional county and we're not going to abide by Michigan's red flag law, which was passed by the Democrat House and the Democrat Senate here in Michigan, and signed by its Democrat governor, who's a big gun grabber. She says, and I don't believe she believes it because she's not an idiot, or she is an idiot, but she's not stupid. Is that it's going to stop school shootings? It's going to do no such thing. It's a gun grab to take people's guns without due process, just on a claim from an anonymous person, and so on and so forth. But the sheriff says, hey, not happening here. Now, that happens to be the county I live in, so that made my heart spring with joy until I thought a little bit further that the particular area I live in is covered by township police, who I don't know what their stand is on it. But let's just talk about what they want to do here with this red flag law. They want to, on an accusation by a non-doctor, okay, they're going to come and confiscate all your firearms, hold them for years, cost you thousands of dollars to get them back, perhaps not even worth the money, the value of the firearms. But that's what they want to do here. No due process. You're going to be considered guilty until you're proven innocent. We even heard Nancy Pelosi not that long ago say President Trump deserved his day in court to prove his innocence. So, where do you go with that? I applaud the sheriff, whose name is Michael J. Murphy. He's doing the right thing. This law ought to be considered unconstitutional for just a few reasons I've mentioned. One of them is which you have to report a stolen gun to the police, which is kind of a self-incriminating. You have to incriminate yourself because those guns are now, under Michigan law, supposed to be properly kept in a safe or whatnot, which I don't know. I mean, that's a good practice to do, but I don't know that it ought to be a law. It hurts poor people in particular. Say you're living in Detroit, TJ, and it's a high crime area, which it likely is, and you got to keep a gun under your pillow because people come in your house, people you don't know, people who mean you harm. That opening the safe and having it at your access might be the difference between living and dying. Your thoughts so far?
Well, a couple thoughts here. For starters, the get around with the county sheriff is if the state attorney general was coming after you, she's going to employ the state police. So, you can plan on that right off the bat.
Yes, I already know that's going to happen.
Sure, they're not going to get any backup or support from the local officials, but I guess the upside to the county holding the line is, that's kind of where it could begin, anyways. I mean, so in that regard, at least at the local level, you don't have someone trying to make your life more miserable. You mentioned something there at the end of your little rant there regarding safes.
I consider it,
yeah. And just oddly enough, just yesterday, I bought another small push button safe because you have these firearms, and to store it correctly, you risk having to take 30 seconds to a full minute or more to get these things into operation. A lot can happen in 30 seconds.
Absolutely.
I mean, a lot can happen in the amount of time it takes to push 4 or 5 buttons.
Well, here's the thing. You got someone you don't know in your house who could mean you harm. You don't know what their intentions. They're not supposed to be there. We know that. And they have the advantage because they're awake and you're not.
Yeah. But at this juncture, given the political climate, prudence dictates safes. I mean, think of it this way. And if it's not in a safe, put a trigger guard on it, trigger lock. But
Well,
even then, that takes 30 seconds to get
I
off.
don't know that that's, I don't have all the details, and we will report those when I do have them, all the intricacies of this law. But this is just the start. I mean, of this guilty, prove your innocence, and prove you're not guilty kind of thing. I mean, let's say, we could do the same thing with automobiles. TJ, who doesn't, but we'll say for the sake of argument, he does. TJ drinks beer. TJ drives a car. TJ could be a drunk driver. So now we have to either suspend his license until he stops drinking beer, or we have to confiscate his car.
Yeah, really.
I don't like TJ, so I get on the phone and I say, hey, TJ he's a drunk driver. Now they're going to come and investigate, and until you prove your innocence, they're going to take your car, which now means you can't go to work. This is the slippery slope of these kind of laws. You're trying to prevent crimes before they happen with law enforcement, and that's not constitutional.
Wow.
They'll get some leftist, bleeding heart liberal judge to sign a warrant, so that you're not even protected there by the common sense of a judge.
I just found it interesting, not knowing that we were going to talk about this, and what was my purchase yesterday, but a push button safe. You know, so I guess that's how you live your life nowadays.
Well, let's look at this. Let's say they take your push button safe. I'm assuming it's small enough to be taken.
Yeah, it's man.
And then they bust it open, and then they use it in a crime. Then they'll say you can't use that kind of safe. Well, where's a poor guy in Detroit? Because safes are not cheap. Where's a poor guy get $1,000 for a safe per se?
Well, you bring up an interesting point. Now, are they going to specify exactly what kind of safe meets their criteria?
Yeah, and then you'll find out Gretchen Whitmer is a stockholder in XYZ Safe Company.
Yeah, and is it mounted securely? The bottom line is, yeah, there's means to secure it to the wall or something, but any crowbar of quality material is going to defeat that pretty quickly. So all it really does is keep someone from grabbing it and using it in like immediately, we'll say.
Well, she mentioned the Oxford shooter in her little signing thing where they do give all the pens out because they're so great. The bill sign. She mentioned the Oxford shooter. This would not have prevented the Oxford high school shooter, because he was given guns by irresponsible people who have also been charged in that crime, I understand.
Yes.
So how would that have prevented it?
Well, it wouldn't have.
I'll tell you what would have. Armed security in that school ready to take on a shooter, and a shooter knowing they're gonna die as soon as they get there without killing anybody. I think that's going to be their greatest deterrent.
Yep. Amen to that. So.
Well, we'll wrap it there, I guess. So, as we always say on the MCR, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.